Connor McDavid's contract situation with the Edmonton Oilers has dominated conversations all summer, and while the deal isn't signed yet, the expectation remains that it will be finalized in the coming weeks. Reports suggest that McDavid, fresh off time overseas, is back in Canada and prepared to begin negotiations with the club. Insiders close to the situation have predicted the extension will be wrapped up before the season begins, perhaps even ahead of training camp. For a player who dislikes answering questions about himself, it seems unlikely he would allow his contract status to linger as a storyline throughout the season. The rumored framework is a 4-year extension with an annual average value of roughly $16.5 million. On paper, that figure looks like a discount for Edmonton, particularly given that the league allows players to command up to 20% of the salary cap, which would mean just over $19 million for McDavid. At 28, entering the peak years of his career, the captain could easily demand top dollar. Instead, he appears prepared to leave money on the table once again in order to give the team cap flexibility to build a contending roster around him. That kind of selflessness is not new for McDavid, who has shown throughout his career a willingness to sacrifice individual earnings for the greater good. For Edmonton, the savings could be critical. $2.5 million per season is enough to add another quality player or provide much-needed depth. For McDavid, the motivation is clear: maximize the team's chances of lifting the Stanley Cup while he is still playing at a level unmatched in the league. The deal, however, carries hidden complications. By the time this extension expires in the summer of 2029, McDavid will be 33. That is still a strong age for many stars, but most statistical models suggest his prime production will be in the rearview mirror. If he decides to chase maximum value at that point, the math gets staggering. A projected salary cap of $120 million would make his potential asking price $24 million annually, a sum that could force the Oilers into a painful balancing act between loyalty and pragmatism. This is why some critics argue that the Oilers should aim for a longer commitment now, even if it means paying closer to the maximum rate. An 8-year deal at $19 million would give Edmonton certainty and could prove more cost-effective in the long run. Otherwise, the club risks a future scenario in which they are asked to pay record-breaking money to an older player whose production may no longer match the contract. For fans, it is a delicate emotional equation. McDavid is the face of the franchise and the best player in hockey, yet sentimentality must be weighed against roster construction in a cap-driven league. In the short term, the situation looks like a win for both sides. McDavid gets another window to chase multiple C.